Good evening guys, and welcome to the first in a brand new series of model railway product reviews that I'm going to be doing. Before our eyes for the first video in this series is a train set by Hornby. This is the Premier Boxed Venice Simplon Orient Express, known today as the Belmont British Pullman. Now, when I first got this set, I was very impressed with the quality, and this came out in the mid-2000s, and from what I remember, these were going for about 300 and odd quid, whereas now when you look at them on eBay, they are going for well in excess of 500 to 600 pounds. And the contents include a DCC controller, which is the select example. This set is DCC fitted. You have 2 loops of track along with the track map. You have a BR South Merchant Navy class, which is rebuilt. This one is named Clan Line. And then you have 3 Pullman cars that are named Ibis, Cygnus and Minerva. And of course, all of these are preserved prototypically and can commonly be seen in and out of London, Victoria, around the Surrey Hills on the Belmont British Pullman excursion. And then, of course, to top it all off, all of the contents go in this nice red velvet drawer set. So basically we have the outer box, and when we first open this, we are greeted with the drawers themselves. So first of all, let's have a look at the Locomotive. So like I say, they come in their own individual drawers. Now, presentation-wise, I am very impressed with the presentation, to tell you the honest truth, because you have this plastic cover that comes off, and then you have this nice bit of foam as well to protect the contents. And there she is. Here is Clan Line herself. Now, what I'm going to do is pause this video, unbox the Locomotive, and we will have a look at the Locomotive in more detail. So I've managed to get the Locomotive out of the box, and we are going to start by having a look at the tender first. Now, it's worth mentioning that these Merchant Navies by Hornby, the current tooling goes back to the new millennium, so the early 2000s, and they were the best model of their time. But obviously in today's day, there are better quality steam locomotives, but the Merchant Navy by Hornby, I have always been impressed with the quality. You have the nice tender here, which has the coal. I don't think this is removable, but then you have the ladders on the back and the lights, and then of course the buffers are sprung as well. You have the catenary warning signs because, like I say, Clan Line has been preserved in real life. And then the livery is Brunswick Green with the early crest. I think it's the early or late crest. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then, of course, you have some more detail there. And then you have these little windows here for when the engine is running tender first, which I believe Oliver Bulleid, who built the Bulleid Pacifics, adopted from Sir Nigel Gresley's locomotives, because particularly on the A4s do have a window here-ish on their corridor tender. But that's the tender, and the actual locomotive herself, just look at that. Isn't she beautiful? You have the number there, which is 35028, the name, which is Clan Line. You have some copper pipe in there. Then you have the pony truck at the back with the connector. I mean, just look at that valve gear. And then, of course, you have the classic Bulleid box wheels as well. And then you have the lead trucks there and the smoke deflectors. And then here's the front with the original boiler hatch. Now, in real life, when the Merchant Navies were first built, just like the West Country and Battle of Britain class, which is the smaller variant of the Merchant Navy class, they were covered in this air smooth casing, which was removed later on in their life towards the end of British Railways. But yeah, that's the Locomotive and the tender. I've ran it no end of times. It's one of my favourites in my collection, and like I say, I am very impressed with it. And basically, it's a must-have for any model rail collector, and that is a Hornby Merchant Navy, regardless of which one it is, because they are very good quality locos. Now, let's move this aside, because we are going to have a look at the Pullman carriages. So again, it comes in a drawer, And again, it's covered in this plastic casing here, which we are going to remove. And then we are going to take this bit of foam off as well. And here we have the 3 Pullman parlour cars. So we have Ibis at the top, which is the kitchen car. These do light up, by the way. When this is running, all these lamps illuminate, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So we've got Ibis, Cygnus and Minerva. And what I'm going to do is see if I can get one of these out so we can have a look at it in more detail. So here we have Minerva. The curtain detail is absolutely fantastic. You could tell that when this was first released, that Hornby really did go to town with their Pullman cars. And I believe that Ibis, Cygnus and Minerva are part of the consist of the real life British Pullman. But just look at the roof detail. And then we even have sprung buffers with golden etched handrails. And even the underside is absolutely fantastic as well. Moving forward, we are going to have a look at more of the content. So included, like I say, is this bog standard track mat, which is standard for all of the Hornby train sets. And then, of course, we have this sheet of locomotives that were from, I think it's the 2006 range, actually. And then, of course, somewhere we have the owner's manual for the DCC Select controller as well. So this straw is actually quite big. I'm struggling to get it into the camera and film at the same time. I'm having to stretch. But yeah, contents of this particular set include the DCC controller, a set of buffers for the siding, and then of course you have the adapter as well. And then you have many track pieces that include, I think these are 2nd to 3rd radius curves actually. But then you have a couple of points as well. And then you have the power track as well. So this is 2 trays that you have to lift up to access them all. But as far as I know, as soon as all this track is put together, you get 2 loops out of it. So all in all, an absolute fantastic train set, which is both good for collectors and especially beneficial if you are a beginner to the model railway hobby.